I took this e-commerce brand right here, which had its sales drop down to $6,000 a month, and that too during the busiest times of the year in Q4, and I was able to scale it to $30,000 a month in revenue, where now they're facing very predictable revenue, they're facing very profitable revenue, all in just 5 months. And in this video, I'm going to be revealing my exact step-by-step process on how I scaled this brand so you can copy and paste this same strategy and see similar results. Let's first go over some background of this brand. They're actually a local store located here in Texas, along with running their own e-commerce brand and online website. The downfall was this store could not ship outside a 500-mile radius. That meant our strategy was very limited and we had to make this brand basically work within that 500-mile radius. Otherwise, it would just fail. But in addition, what we noticed is that the average order values were anywhere between $500 to $1,500, even $2,000 to $3,000. So we had to find people who could afford this level of AOV within a 500-mile radius. So for this e-commerce brand, we began working with it right in the middle of January, and we actually ended up launching campaigns in the beginning of February because there were a lot of foundational errors we had to get through. Things like improper conversion tracking. I mean, obviously, because this is a local store as well as an online website, we had to figure out a way to track both people that went into their store after looking at an ad online, because a lot of people did do that. In fact, we had to fix up the product titles because they actually did not have any type of product SEO done for their product titles and for their product description. A lot of these sales that you see right here, more towards the beginning of last year, it was mostly through Facebook ads, which, by the way, their online platform with Facebook, it was highly unprofitable, and they were making a lot of the profit with the people that actually walked into the store to purchase from. That's essentially where we came in, because it's always all about the foundation first. Because we knew that, we started work right from the foundation, fixed up conversion tracking, made sure the product titles were in terms of proper search engine optimization techniques, and we also improved the overall landing page experience for this brand. So the kind of sample brand I'm gonna go over, which we basically kind of had a similar layout to, is this brand right here. And it had a very professional and very furniture-like feel to it. I mean, the description was very simply laid out. There was nothing too crazy going on, no types of custom descriptions or custom landing pages. This landing page is just associated with its actual theme. So that's what we kind of noticed here. And we laid out our website very similar to this. We wanted to give this very professional, very straightforward appeal and look, because again, our audience, it could be anywhere between 20 years of age all the way up to 60, 70 years of age. In the meantime, while all of that was going on, we were also improving the product feed itself, because now if we go into one of the campaigns right here, we can see that there's very few errors now compared to what was going on in the beginning when we just began work. Besides the limited performance due to missing value GTIN, there were a whole bunch of product issues such as missing value of color, missing value of age even, and things like that, which of course can be fixed within the backend with the Google Merchant Center. Then only leave the one that we couldn't fix, which is the GTIN issue there, because again, that's just unfixable at this point. This really took about 7 to 14 days because we had to really deep dive into this account and make sure everything was proper before we actually began implementing any type of ad strategy. Our launch strategy, we decided on a very simple approach. First of all, we knew that this was a high ticket brand. So a lot of our other strategies which we use with other stores would not really be ideal here. We decided to go with the 2-1-2 approach. The first 2 refers to shopping campaigns. We launched 2 shopping campaigns, 1 performance max and 1 standard shopping here. And then the middle one, we launched 1 brand search campaign. And the final 2, we launched 1 dynamic search campaign and 1 cold prospecting campaign for collection. The only reason we decided to launch 1 standard shopping campaign along with 1 performance max, because we were unsure of whether a standard shopping campaign approach would be ideal for this brand or a PMax campaign approach would be ideal. Unfortunately, in the beginning, as you can see right here, from January 22nd to February 28th, first of all, we barely were getting any sales, but also the biggest issue was there were no results coming from either shopping nor Performance Max campaign. But luckily we did have that branded search campaign running, which again, because of their Facebook ads efforts, we were able to retarget and actually get some of the lost sales back. Honestly, during this time, that's what kept this account alive. And then the two search campaigns, we can see that the search campaign, the prospecting one, only got one sale during this time, and the dynamic search campaign got 2 sales. So this was some kind of hope that things were going in the right direction. After the first 14 days of running the account, we noticed that there were barely any results coming in, with just few sales here and there. So what we did is we went into the Performance Max campaign and we went into the insight section, because we knew that there would be a lot of valuable data. And of course, we didn't have access to the keyword section like we would with the standard shopping. And of course, within the insight section, you can only look at last 7 days worth of data or last 28 days. But during that time, whatever data we were getting, what I basically did is I went into the campaign and I looked at all of the keywords we were actively ranking for and the keywords that were actually getting the sales, like this section right here, for example, and actually try to optimize the back end based on this data. Because again, with PMax, there was very little I could do, and the standard shopping, it was barely getting any sales. So I knew I could not rely on that. And in addition, while we were doing that, we decided to go look at the keyword section within the dynamic search campaign, because even though we had barely gotten some sales, that was still valuable data we could then use to further understand what the people in that 500-mile radius were actively searching for. We incorporated some of these keywords into the titles, into the descriptions, which further helped the algorithm find the right kind of people that we wanted. And then, of course, the last thing we really did in terms of optimization is we connected the Google Analytics account to our Google Ads account, because there was a lot of valuable data in there, which the Google Ads account could then use to become smarter. We did this after about the first 14 days, and then consecutively every 7 to 14 days, we would do the same exact thing until we basically started to see some kind of results coming in. And of course, it took a very long time compared to, how much time we were running the campaigns. But as February went forward, well into March, we started to see some sort of consistency coming in. And then by this time, the dynamic search campaign had already started to do a decent amount. The overall campaign, which did the best, was of course the branded search campaign, but the PMax campaign had also started to pick up. In fact, it had done $4,100 in sales, and we had gotten a total of 6 sales during that time period. Of course, there was a lot of room for improvement, but the ROAS was a 5.54x, which was just enough to keep this brand going. Really, the major kind of scale started to come late last month, which is in the month of April. I'm recording this video in the month of May. If we look from March 1st to May 23rd, we can see that during the end of March, early April, really is when things started to take off and become much more consistent. The overall ROAS, you can see it's running at a 7.06x ROAS. Obviously, in the beginning, this was not the case at all. We finally had to figure out a way to properly track conversions of people going in store to purchase versus those purchasing online. And what we did is basically, we also started tracking phone calls that were done. We also started offering special coupon codes, which the customer could only use in store. That really gave us a better idea of what was working, what was not working, and we decided to scale horizontally plus vertically for this brand. Horizontal scaling is when you add more campaign types in general. So what we did in order to scale this further, we started launching more PMax campaigns specifically for different collections, different categories. These are all PMax campaigns which we now have running. As you can see, some of them running at a 4.86x ROAS, some at an 18x ROAS. So they're going on very well and they're optimizing as needed. And we also launched some more search campaigns. There's 2 different search campaigns running along with this brand search campaign running at a 354x ROAS. The next type of scaling we did was vertical scaling, which is essentially just increasing the budgets of the campaigns performing the best or decreasing restrictions on them. For example, this PMax campaign, which is spending the most amount of money right now, it's only running at $40 a day because the brand owner wants to keep it at that level, but we started at $20 a day, and now we're slowly scaling that up as the results continue to come in. When it comes to vertical scaling, what I'm doing is just increasing the budgets every 7 to 14 days by about 20 to 25%. You can be a bit more aggressive. However, I do recommend you to take it a bit steady and use both horizontal as well as vertical when scaling to the next level. That's pretty much how we were able to scale this brand from $6,000 a month all the way up to $30,000 a month. Again, if you're doing $40,000 or more per month in revenue, you need just a little bit of extra help scaling your brand to the next level. Go onto my website at yourmarketing.com and book a free call with me to see how we can potentially work together and make that happen. I want you to watch this video right here on the Google shopping ads and Google search ads, which did the best in 2023. These are perfect examples for you to mimic and apply the strategy for your own brand.